Welcome back to Tada 3D Printing. Last week, Prusa announced the launch of the MK4S that replaces the MK4. And I have to admit, when I first saw the announcement, I glanced through it and I just kept scrolling. And I think the main reason for that is I'm a small print farm, and we had for the longest time just two types of printers. We had the MK3S and the Mini, and that worked out really well. On the larger printer, we would run the larger prints. On the Minis, I would run a lot of smaller prints. It was really simple. But last year, with the final shipments and release of new printers, we had the XL single tool head arrive and the 5 tool head, and then we had the MK4. Then we had the MMU3 launch for not just the MK4 but the MK3 as well. So after I had all of these different printers, I felt like it was a lot to manage the different profiles, trying to figure out which printer was available for which thing. I was constantly having to reslice things. And then we had all of those firmware updates and slicer updates. And because I was still trying to fine tune some of the machines, especially the XL, I felt like I was constantly having to update the firmware on one machine, and that would have to update all of them. So I felt like I spent a lot of time just managing the different profiles. A lot of times I would have to adjust my settings just a little bit from one printer to the next, especially when I was dealing with the 0.6 nozzle on the XL. I felt like there was a lot of little adjustments, and it was really hard for us to keep the same momentum going that we had with just two printers. So when the MK4S was announced, I didn't see anything that really appealed to me enough for me to want to add another type of printer. Yes, of course, I could update or upgrade all of them, all of my other MK4s to the S, but I just felt like the time-consuming factor of it would just not be worth it. So I kept scrolling for a while until yesterday I saw information about the app. Now, I have been using apps with other printers and I have really been enjoying them. I don't use them as much for just sending a profile or sending a sliced file from my phone to the printer, but what I use it for the most is the notifications that are embedded in that app. And of course, when you start a print and you know, okay, it's gonna be 5 hours, you know, okay, it's gonna be done about this time, you can go back and check it. And on my Prusas, I do have my Wise camera set up so I can check on it here and there if needed. But I feel like the notification that I use the most on these apps is anything that would interrupt the process. So if maybe my build plate wasn't perfectly set, if I get a notification, an error message for that, if it notices any kind of stringing, or also just a reminder that it's done, so then I need to come out and I need to flip my prints. So all of those notifications I am finding really helpful, even more so than just remotely monitoring through my Wise camera. So I'm really excited to see the notification version with the MK4S with the new app, and just get more details about, will there be a way to use it on the other printers? Are they going to need to all be upgraded in some form? So that really was the thing that changed my mind and made me more curious about it, because that kind of technology, being able to monitor and having those notifications when you have multiple different printers going, of course you're starting different prints with different lengths, it's really helpful to me. So I decided to order one upgrade kit, even though they will not ship until September 9th. And it looks like mine is the older style LCD screen. My photo is on the right, and it looks more like the Prusa photo on the bottom, where the yellow cable is towards the front of the screen. And if you are planning to make a purchase, if you use our affiliate link, it helps out the channel with no additional cost to you, whether you purchase the upgrade kit or the full-size printer that's pre-assembled or the kit. Last week I did ask a poll to see if you guys were interested in the MK4S. If you're not interested yet, where you're at. And it seemed like the first day the comments and the votes were definitely in favor of yes, that everybody did like the MK4S. Either they were going to get the upgrade or a new printer. It seems like it's shifted a little bit more now towards people maybe just wanting a little more information, seeing what all is involved. The other things, the cooling, the high flow nozzle, those things I think are helpful. Yes, a little bit of speed is going to be helpful, but I think for me, the app is what is the most appealing. So I'm really curious your thoughts on why you either did go ahead and order the upgrade or the new printer, or why you're waiting, and just kind of give me an idea of what your thoughts are overall on this new printer. When it first was announced, I was thinking, man, it hasn't even been a year since the MK4 came out. But I did look back and I ordered this printer the end of March 2023. So we're pushing about a year and a half. So I guess that is a little bit more understandable that they're coming out with some new features for a new printer. So I am really curious to see what you guys think about this. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.